Hey guys, IcelusLoL here. Welcome to Laning with Caitlyn. I'm going to jump right into a clip here. First thing, we had a level 1 team fight, and it didn't go very well, so I had to back. And I'm getting the lane a little bit late, but as you can see, I'm laying down some harass on this Ezreal. So he pushed us up, which is kind of good because we can play up against our tower. And the creeps aren't going into the tower, so we're not really losing anything. And this puts them a little bit out of position. I dodge Thresh Hook here. I just keep trying to poke Ezreal. Combined with Sona poke there, he takes a lot of free damage. Thresh goes to ward here. I don't want to hard engage because Thresh will destroy us. And Sona and Caitlyn are both more poke champions. Ezreal's about half health now, which is really good for us, especially considering that I have a healing support and he does not. So Thresh does have the shield, which is really nice, but at the same time it doesn't really help him when he's this low on health. So Sona gets hooked right here. She goes in a little too hard, but I'm just following up with autos and trying to kite backwards. I drop Ezreal low enough where he can't really pursue her any harder, so that's okay. And I'm still full health. Ezreal's really low. Sona's going to heal back up with pots and her W, so it's fine. And we're still pretty pushed up here. Ezreal has to keep spamming autos and mystic shots just to get some lifesteal, which is good for us because I can keep pushing the wave and autoing him without worrying too much about getting out of position. So Thresh is a little dinged up right now too, and I just keep plinking him whenever I get a chance. You know, being too careful not to hard engage because Thresh's all in is pretty good, but now we're in a pretty good position because they're both low, especially Ezreal. So I'm just trying to last hit and try to zone them if I can. Right here, he snaps the lantern back and gives them a shield, and then I have a headshot, and I don't want to waste it on the shield, even though I should have because it would have broken through the shield. Level 1 Thresh shield is like 60 damage, I think. So I do get him with a headshot there. And I'm just trying to continue poking Ezreal, and my Sona clearly is getting impatient here. She really wants to fight, which is fine. I mean, it's good to have a support that wants to battle or poke. So she dodges the hook there and goes in. And I'm going to try to follow up in here. I get some autos and I land a Piltover Peacemaker because she exhausts and we get first blood. Not first blood, but we get the first kill in our lane, which is pretty good. Alright, here's an example of when a skirmish can go bad. So I just get back to lane and my Sona wants to go ham. She exhausts Ezreal and I try to land a Piltover Peacemaker, but I miss. So I ult Ezreal, Sona gets hooked. I start to move up, I try to land some autos on Ezreal, I net in to get the kill, but I accidentally shoot him while he's buried and then I miss my Piltover Peacemaker. Sona dies, I dodge the Ezreal ult, and I try to get some autos on Thresh, but the bush is not warded. I step into the bush and get Thresh ulted, and he pulls Ezreal in with a lantern. Lee Sin's coming in, so I try to kite away from him, but unfortunately I get hooked again because I'm not near creeps, and then Ezreal gets away. So this is an example of how a 2v2 can turn bad or turn into a 2v3 before you realize what's going on. There are things I could have done better there, and there are things Sona could have done better there, so just always be careful. I know that they're in the bush because Sona has this warded. So I'm just going to try to last hit for now, try to land some poke when I can, and wait for Sona to get back. So she's here now, and I'm going to try to hit Thresh here. Sona moves up, starts to go really ham. She misses her ult, but I'm following up on her and trying to land as many autos as I possibly can. I'm trying to kite backwards, and I try to block Ezreal ult because I'm not sure if it's aimed towards Sona, and I would have made it do less damage. So I take the opportunity here to ult Thresh because he stepped on my trap and because I didn't think Ezreal was in a position to block it. Ezreal steps up to kill Sona and he fails. I step up here to try to take Ezreal. The bush isn't warded though, and I feel like I'm going to get hooked, so I step to the left and barely survive here, and Ezreal dies to a minion. Math was done. But no, I'm just kidding, I got really lucky there. So that was kind of sloppy on a lot of different levels, but we ended up getting pretty lucky and got a kill, and Sona made it out alive. So basically the important things in lane with Caitlyn are to use your long auto attack range and your Piltover Peacemaker to maximally harass whenever you can. It's lots of free damage and you don't have to put yourself in much of a risk at all. Try to rely on your supports for poke as well. If you can combine your poke with, for instance in this game, Sona's poke, you can do almost their entire health bar in damage. I mean, you saw Ezreal's health in the very beginning. He was extremely low and he couldn't really do anything. That buys you a lot of time to out CS the opponent and build up an advantage.